don't think about it that much, but the numbers are pretty overwhelming, yeah.
The tennis world has seen rising stars before, but what is happening around Alex Eala feels completely different. Before she even played a single point at Indian Wells 2026, thousands of fans were already turning ordinary practice sessions into must-see events. Crowds packed every available space, people stood shoulder to shoulder just to watch her warm up, and tournament staff suddenly faced a challenge they never expected from a player still climbing the rankings. That alone raised one fascinating question. How could a 20-year-old ranked outside the very top of the sport create an atmosphere usually reserved for Grand Slam champions? The answer goes far beyond rankings or statistics. It is a story about a young athlete who has inspired an entire nation, attracted a new generation of tennis fans, and forced some of the biggest names in the sport to stop and pay attention. Even tennis legend Martina Navratilova, someone who has witnessed nearly every era of greatness, admitted there is something remarkably special about Alex Eala. Her comments weren't based on hype or social media excitement. They came from decades of experience recognizing what separates good players from future champions. But while millions of fans are celebrating Eala's incredible rise, Navratilova also revealed one crucial detail that could determine whether this remarkable journey becomes tennis history or simply another unforgettable chapter. And once you hear what she noticed, you'll understand why Indian Wells could become the tournament that changes everything for Alex Eala.
Makes a champion tennis player?
What makes a champion? Anything. It's the same old, champions don't quit until they get it right. They're the first ones in the gym and the last ones to leave. And they're not afraid to fail.
Long before Alex Eala stepped onto the main stage at Indian Wells, she had already become the biggest attraction at the tournament. Fans crowded around a simple practice court, filling every available space just to watch her rally for a few minutes. The scene became so overwhelming that former ATP player Christopher Eubanks suggested tournament organizers move her to a larger court because the growing crowds were becoming a genuine safety concern. For a player ranked just outside the world's top 30, it was an extraordinary moment that few could have predicted. It showed that Eala's popularity had grown far beyond her ranking, with thousands of supporters eager to see her every move. But as incredible as those scenes were, they were only the beginning of a much bigger story.
Only dreamed of making tennis grow in the Philippines, and now I'm bringing a whole new audience to tennis all around the world.
And she's humble and she works hard.
Humble.
Yes, that's why we like her, because she's the face of the Philippines.
Just aside from her talent, she's also thinking of the future.
The excitement surrounding Alex Eala didn't suddenly begin in California. It had already exploded weeks earlier in Dubai, where every one of her matches became one of the hottest tickets in the tournament. Fans rushed to secure seats, only to discover that many sessions had completely sold out. Tournament officials openly admitted they had never experienced anything quite like it during their years running the event. What made the story even more surprising was that Eala wasn't arriving as the tournament favorite. She earned the spotlight by defeating top-ranked opponents and proving she could compete with some of the biggest names in women's tennis. By the time she landed at Indian Wells, the tennis world realized this wasn't a lucky streak anymore, it was the beginning of something much bigger. But an even more powerful voice was about to confirm what many fans had already started believing.
The Filipinos we have such a strong sense of community, and I feel like when one of us does well or one of us is succeeding, we all have that shared sense of pride.
So when Eala plays, we all get together and we all watch her support her as a group of people.
Are there actual gatherings?
Oh yeah,
yes.
really? Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's
We
party time.
plan our dinners around that stuff.
The excitement surrounding Alex Eala didn't suddenly begin in California. It had already exploded weeks earlier in Dubai, where every one of her matches became one of the hottest tickets in the tournament. Fans rushed to secure seats, only to discover that many sessions had completely sold out. Tournament officials openly admitted they had never experienced anything quite like it during their years running the event. What made the story even more surprising was that Eala wasn't arriving as the tournament favorite. She earned the spotlight by defeating top-ranked opponents and proving she could compete with some of the biggest names in women's tennis. By the time she landed at Indian Wells, the tennis world realized this wasn't a lucky streak anymore, it was the beginning of something much bigger. But an even more powerful voice was about to confirm what many fans had already started believing.
Really? You signed up for Tennis Channel to watch her?
Yeah, because sometimes they don't show it.
So the year subscription, just in case?
The monthly.
Oh, the monthly, okay.
The monthly, just in case she doesn't play, then we don't... Right? You only pay when she plays. It's paid to play.
My friends will tell me that the courts are full at home, and just so many things that I didn't think would happen because of what I'm doing on tour. So.
That voice belonged to Martina Navratilova, one of the greatest champions the sport has ever known. After watching Alex Eala's rapid rise, Navratilova praised her creativity, left-handed game, court intelligence, and fearless mentality against elite opponents. She explained that players like Eala don't simply rely on power, they force rivals to think on every point. Yet her biggest compliment came with one honest observation. Navratilova believed Eala already possesses nearly everything needed to become a true superstar, but one area still needs to improve: her serve. Rather than criticizing her game, she described it as the final piece that could unlock an entirely new level. Coming from a legend with decades of experience, those words carried enormous weight. But the pressure waiting for Eala was about to become even greater. Indian Wells wasn't just another tournament on the calendar, it represented one of the biggest opportunities of Alex Eala's career. A deep run could move her closer to the world's top 20, changing her seeding, her future draws, and the way every opponent views her. At the same time, expectations had never been higher. Millions of Filipino fans were following every match, every practice session, and every interview. Social media exploded whenever she stepped onto the court, while television broadcasters repeatedly highlighted the incredible atmosphere surrounding her. Suddenly, the challenge wasn't simply winning matches. It was handling the enormous spotlight that comes with becoming one of the biggest stories in world tennis. Perhaps the most remarkable part of Eala's rise isn't just her talent, it's the connection she has built with her supporters. Fans organize watch parties, subscribe to sports channels just to follow her matches, and proudly wave Philippine flags wherever she competes. Many believe she's inspiring a completely new generation to pick up a tennis racket for the first time. Even veteran commentators admitted they hadn't seen this level of passion around a young player in years. For many Filipinos, Alex Eala has become far more than a tennis player. She represents hope, pride, and proof that someone from their country can compete with the very best. But while the crowds continue growing larger, the toughest challenge still waits on the other side of the net. The draw at Indian Wells promised no easy path. Every round offered another elite opponent capable of ending the dream, including possible rematches against players who had already tested her limits. Yet that's exactly what makes this tournament so fascinating. Eala has already shown she can defeat top 10 players when few expect it, and every victory strengthens the belief that another breakthrough is coming. Around the tennis world, analysts are no longer asking whether she belongs among the elite. Instead, they're asking how soon she'll become one of the sport's biggest stars. That's a conversation very few young players ever reach so quickly. Alex Eala's story is no longer just about rankings, trophies, or statistics. It's about changing the atmosphere of entire tournaments before the first ball is even struck. When practice courts become packed, tickets disappear within minutes, and legends like Martina Navratilova openly praise your future, the tennis world has no choice but to pay attention. The only question left is whether Indian Wells will become the tournament that launches Eala into the sport's absolute elite, or simply another unforgettable chapter in a career that still feels like it's only getting started. One thing is already clear: this remarkable journey is far from over, and millions of fans around the world will be watching every single step.